Look, if you or someone you love is dealing with a severe disability and simply can't work, trying to navigate the government's alphabet soup programs can feel completely overwhelming. I mean, you're already juggling medical appointments, physical limitations, and serious financial stress. The absolute last thing you need is a massive, confusing government manual standing between you and the assistance you desperately need just to survive.
So, you're probably wondering, SSDI or SSI? What is the actual difference? Well, today we're going to demystify these two major acronyms and translate all those dense government regulations into plain, straightforward English. By the end of this explainer, you're going to know exactly what kind of support you or your family might qualify for, and more importantly, how to actually secure it. Let's get right into it.
Okay, the absolute core difference really boils down to this. SSDI, think of it as an earned insurance policy. It's based entirely on your work history and the payroll taxes you've already paid into the system over your career. SSI, on the other hand, is a strict needs-based financial safety net. It's funded by general taxes, so it has absolutely nothing to do with your past work, but it has everything to do with your current financial situation.
Scenario A, the long-time worker.
To really grasp how these legal definitions apply in the real world, let's step away from the jargon and look at an everyday situation. Imagine a construction worker. They've been clocking in every single day, working hard, and paying their payroll taxes for, say, 20 years. But then, suddenly, they suffer a severe back injury, maybe a degenerative disc disease or severe musculoskeletal disorder that completely prevents them from ever returning to the job site or transferring to any other type of work. So why does SSDI fit this worker perfectly? Because they've essentially been paying their insurance premiums for decades through steady payroll deductions. And since it's an insurance program they bought into, the government isn't going to care about their current bank account balance or if they own a home. The focus is strictly on their medical condition and their work history.
Now, you'll probably hear the term work credits thrown around a lot. What does that even mean? Well, as long as our construction worker has accumulated enough of these credits, which generally means working 5 of the last 10 years right before becoming disabled, they can qualify. To put a hard number on it, you typically need 40 work credits to be eligible, and you can earn up to 4 a year based on your wages. If you've got those credits and a qualifying medical condition expected to last at least 12 months, SSDI is exactly what you need.
Scenario B, the young adult.
But hey, what happens if you just don't have that long track record of employment? What if your life took a totally different path? Consider a young adult who's been dealing with a profound intellectual or physical disability since childhood. Because of their severe condition, they've never actually had the chance to enter the workforce, which means they haven't paid into the Social Security tax system. Under SSDI rules, they simply wouldn't have the work credits to qualify.
And this is exactly where Supplemental Security Income, or SSI, steps in as an absolute lifeline. SSI doesn't require any work history. Instead, it's a safety net specifically for folks with limited income and extremely restricted financial resources. But here's the catch. Because it is needs-based, the government enforces very strict rules on what you can own. For 2026, the federal income limit for an individual is around $967 a month, and you literally cannot have more than $2,000 in total assets. Though, thankfully, things like your primary home and one vehicle usually don't count toward that balance.
So the government sets these strict monthly limits. For SSI, you've got to stay under those financial and asset thresholds, just $2,000 for an individual or $3,000 for a married couple. Now with SSDI, there is zero asset limit. Instead, SSDI looks at whether you're engaging in what they call substantial gainful activity, or SGA. For 2026, if you're working and making over $1,690 a month as a non-blind individual, the SSA generally considers you not disabled under their rules.
All right, so you figure out which program applies to you, you gather all those medical records, and you hit submit. But here is the crucial question. What happens if your application gets denied? It's an incredibly frustrating, often heartbreaking reality that about 2/3 of all initial applications are denied by the Social Security Administration. It leaves so many disabled folks feeling completely hopeless and defeated by a system that was supposedly built to protect them. But I really want you to hear this loud and clear. A denial is absolutely not the end of the road. No way. For most, it's really just the beginning of the legal process. The appeals process, which moves from a reconsideration claim all the way up to hearings before an administrative law judge, is super complex and can honestly take months or even years. But it's precisely in this complicated arena where having a seasoned legal advocate makes all the difference in the world between giving up and getting the benefits you desperately need and have rightfully earned.
Your trusted guides, how Pena and Bromberg can help.
Listen, You shouldn't have to navigate this giant maze of dense paperwork, strict filing deadlines, and confusing medical evidence all on your own. You just shouldn't. The attorneys at Pena Bromberg can lift that massive burden entirely off your shoulders. They have been dedicated, highly specialized experts in Social Security disability law since 1984. Think about that. That's decades of focused, relentless advocacy for people just like you.
The Pena and Bromberg advantage is crystal clear. They bring deep, specialized expertise to both SSDI and SSI claims. Plus, they maintain a really strong, accessible local presence, right here throughout California's Central Valley, from Fresno to Bakersfield, Stockton to Oakland. They will handle your claim from that very first initial application all the way up through federal court if that's what it takes. And they do it all with zero upfront cost to you, providing deeply compassionate, personalized service so you never ever feel like just another case number.
And their dedication, it isn't just some marketing promise, it's backed up by the lived experiences of everyday people. Just look at feedback from clients like Ashley Hernandez. She shared that the team made everything feel so easy and took care of literally everything so she could finally win her case. That is exactly the kind of peace of mind you need when your main focus should be on your health.
Or consider J.R. Gomez, who pointed out how the staff was constantly updating him about his case. When you're totally exhausted by a medical condition, the anxiety of not knowing what's happening with your financial future is paralyzing. Having a legal team that communicates with you nonstop and fights relentlessly on your behalf, it's an absolute game changer.
So, if you're ready to stop stressing over the confusing acronyms, the scary denial letters, and the endless paperwork, it is time to take action. Reach out to Pena Bromberg for a free consultation today at 559-439-9700. Because seriously, you shouldn't have to fight this battle alone. Let me leave you with this final thought. If this entire system was designed to protect the most vulnerable among us, why should you have to struggle just to unlock its doors? Don't let the complexity of the law cost you the security and dignity you truly deserve. Get the right guides and claim your future.